Alright, so now we're actually looking at the Bora Ring. Alright, so before studying IND, this was about 10 years ago, I remember our friend Jess brought me and my sisters here one day. Jess would have been about 80 at the time, and I was about 23, so it was about 10 years ago. And at that time, when I looked out here, I didn't understand why Jess had wanted to bring us here, because when I looked at this, it's like all I saw was grass and trees, and I didn't get it. I just didn't get the significance. But then after studying IND, I went back and I revisited that memory, and I realized how actually important and significant this place is, and that it was used for ceremony and initiation. So Mum just said to me, how did Jess know to bring you here? What made her think of this place? And I thought, because she was British to the bone. She had a different understanding of Australia that maybe me and Mum didn't learn when we were growing up with the Terra Nullius and the whitewashing of history. So I reckon that because she felt like she was an outsider in Australia her whole life, she didn't have that cultural baggage that stops people who have grown up here, especially from Mum's time in the 50s. Yeah, from the 50s even to when I was in school in the 90s, it was an era of Terra Nullius in the education system. But because Jess was coming from outside, she knew she wasn't from here, so she didn't have that that kind of miseducation. So she brought us here, and I remember it so vividly. She stood she stood over there, and she just said, she was so enthusiastic, and she said in her British accent, she was like, look at this place, this is marvelous, this is the history of where we live. And yeah, like I said, I just saw grass and trees. But now that I'm older, I've grown up and I've studied IND, I can really, truly go back to that day, look at it through a new lens with my IND understanding, and I really appreciate what Jess was trying to do and what she was trying to teach us. So yeah, just another example of how things aren't linear, because